Here we go. Rockets and Jazz, the only game in the association. Rockets are 11-206 the total, thanks to Bet Online and Intertop Sportsbooks. 22 years online, sign up, deposit, win. This was one of the worst spots you're ever going to see for a playoff game. Jazz played the Thunder, 8:45 local tip Friday night. They win. They close out the series. Then they had to come right back and play a Sunday afternoon game. It showed. They were, no Rubio too, but they were down 27 in the second quarter. Bombs away for the Rockets. Harden had a terrific game. Capella was a beast down low. Capella wasn't Gobert was not a factor. Rockets were 8 of 9 on shots with inside 3 feet of the rim. He didn't do much on defense or offense. Harden is averaging 34 points per game this year against the Jazz.
Yeah, and when you look at the series history this season, these teams have now played 5 times. The Rockets 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread, and all 5 of their wins have come by 11 points or more, double-digit margins in every one of those contests. Now, we've seen a couple of games where Utah's defense was able to give Houston some problems. Certainly, in game 1, it wasn't like the Rockets were able to go nuts offensively, even with the fact that Gobert didn't block a shot for the first time in the postseason. In fact, only the 8th time all year he didn't block a shot. But even with all of that, we've seen this Jazz defense have a chance against Houston, a chance like many teams probably don't have against the Rockets. But the big issue right now with Utah is trying to live without Ricky Rubio at the point. Talking about losing your starting point guard in the postseason, Quinn Snyder, quote, "It's not like you plug someone in there. Everybody's different. We miss him. That's part of the season. We've had him out before, and we had other guys out. He could miss the whole series." But, Jay Crowder's quote, "All guys have to step up. But at the same time, we have a similar offense. We just have to be more in tune with getting the ball in the paint. Ricky's out. That's a lot of our offense. So I'm just trying to be aggressive to give our offense something." What happened? We saw Donovan Mitchell have 5 assists. Joe Ingles had 5 assists. Dante Exum, Alec Burke played okay off the bench, but it didn't feel like the same flow for that Utah offense without Rubio. And you see the quote from Trevor Ariza, quote, "I think it makes Donovan handle the ball more than they would like." He's their dominant scorer at this point. So when he has to handle the ball and get everybody involved in the game, kind of takes away from him scoring the ball all the time or being aggressive all the time. So Utah issues on both sides of the ball as they go into game 2 against Houston tonight. No question, Pauly. They're going to have to play much better than they did in game 1 if they're going to be competitive in this game, let alone have a chance for the upset.
Those numbers you gave out there are staggering with the head-to-head so far, 5-0 and 5 blowout wins. Also in that game that was played late February, that was that game at Utah where D'Antoni said they played the worst half of the season, and they were down big and still won the game by 11 points on the road at Utah and held them to 85 points. So it was bombs away in game 1. They were 17 of 32 from 3. And what happens when these guys get on the same page? Because Tucker was terrific from 3. He had 15 points. Capella, well, he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Remember, they got that record. They were 38-2 at one point when this team would have won 70 games if they didn't have injuries. All these guys missed time. Paul missed a lot of time. Harden missed games. Capella missed time. But I love the balance. Harden played well. Capella, Paul, Tucker, and Mbah Moute came back as well. Now, the Jazz are saying the right things, at least on defense. Crowder said, quote, "They made a lot of tough contested shots. I give Harden credit. He made a lot of shots with a hand in his face. You can't get too frustrated with the process. You don't win the game in the first quarter. You don't win in the first half, so you have to stay the course," end quote. You can lose it, though, when you're down 27. He didn't say what they would do differently for game 2, but he said, I definitely agree with this. We'll be fresher and more energized with what we have to do to take away both ends of the court and what they do. He's right about that. I mean, again, I can't say this enough. That spot was horrific, what happened in game 1. So now time off, a couple of days off Wednesday, and we'll see. I mean, they lose this one. This will let you know how this, not that they can win this series with Rubio out, who could miss the whole series. He's out 10 days at least. But if they can't compete tonight and put up a fight after what happened in game 1, it's a gentleman's sweep probably.
I would think so. But that being said, let's not put the cart before the horse. One game at a time here. And Crowder's quote means a lot to me. They made a lot of tough contested shots. I give Harden credit. He made a lot of shots with a hand in his face. it wasn't like the Jazz haven't figured out a way to kind of, I'm not going to say contain Houston, but to defend Houston. Utah's going to be better at defending Houston than most teams in the NBA. I like Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder's a coach who has shown me enough in his tenure with the Jazz that I trust him to make adjustments. So you ask me, which way do you lean for game number 2? I ain't laying with Houston, and I'm not betting this game over the total to be Jazz or under for this better if I get involved tonight.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. And I would be inclined to take the Jazz plus the points after the horror show in game 1, although the Rockets got whatever they wanted offensively.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.